The rest stop was nearly empty when Marcus pulled his bike into the parking lot. It was one of those forgotten places off Highway 87. Cracked pavement, flickering lights, a vending machine that looked older than he was. He killed the engine and stretched his back. It was just past 9 at night. He'd been riding for 6 hours straight. All he wanted was coffee and a bathroom. That's when he saw the boy, small, maybe 7 or 8 years old, sitting on a bench near the restrooms. Alone, Marcus slowed his walk. The kid was wearing a blue hoodie, jeans, and sneakers that lit up when he kicked his feet. He had a small backpack next to him. His face was streaked with dried tears. He wasn't playing, wasn't on a phone, just sitting, staring at the parking lot like he was waiting for someone. Marcus looked around. No parents, no cars nearby, no one watching him. He felt a cold twist in his gut. He walked over slowly, keeping his distance so he wouldn't scare the kid. "Hey, buddy," Marcus said gently. "You okay?" The boy looked up. His eyes were red. His lip was trembling. He didn't say anything at first. Marcus crouched down, making himself smaller, less intimidating. "Where's your mom or dad?" he asked. The boy's voice cracked. "My dad forgot me." Marcus froze. "What do you mean he forgot you?" The boy wiped his nose with his sleeve. "We stopped here. He said to go to the bathroom. I did, but when I came out, he was gone." Marcus felt his chest tighten. "How long ago was that?" The boy shrugged. "I don't know. A long time." Marcus glanced at his watch, then at the empty parking lot. This wasn't right. "What's your name?" "Liam." "Okay, Liam. I'm Marcus. Did your dad say where you're going?" "To Grandma's house. In Ridgefield." Marcus knew Ridgefield. It was at least 200 miles north. He stood up and looked around again. Still no one. He walked toward the convenience store attached to the rest stop. A bored teenager stood behind the counter, scrolling on his phone. Marcus pushed the door open. "Hey, you see a kid out there?" "Little boy. Blue hoodie." The kid barely looked up. "Yeah, he's been there a while." "How long?" The teenager shrugged. "Like 2 hours? Maybe more." Marcus felt a flash of anger. "And no one checked on him?" "Not my job, man." Marcus bit back what he wanted to say. He turned and walked back outside. Liam was still sitting there, waiting. Marcus sat down next to him, keeping a respectful distance. "Liam, do you have a phone?" The boy shook his head. "Does your dad have one?" "Yeah." "Do you know his number?" Liam nodded slowly. Marcus pulled out his phone and handed it to him. "Go ahead. Call him." Liam's small fingers tapped the screen. He held the phone to his ear. It rang, and rang, and rang. No answer. Liam's face crumpled. Marcus took the phone back gently. "It's okay. We'll try again in a minute." But inside, Marcus was anything but calm. What kind of father forgets his kid at a rest stop? He thought about calling the police, but something held him back. If this was just a mistake, if the dad realized and turned around, cops would only complicate things. But if it was a mistake, Marcus didn't want to think about that yet. He tried the number again. Still no answer. Liam sniffled. "He's mad at me." Marcus turned to him. "Why do you think that?" "Because I spilled juice in the car. He yelled at me. A lot." Marcus kept his voice steady. "That's not your fault, buddy. Accidents happen." Liam didn't look convinced. Marcus checked the time. It had been almost 3 hours since Liam was left behind. 3 hours. He made a decision. "Liam, I'm going to help you find your dad." "Okay." The boy looked at him with wide, hopeful eyes. "Really?" "Yeah, but I need you to tell me everything you remember. Where you started. What your dad's car looks like. Anything." Liam nodded quickly. "We left from Centerville. It's where we live. Dad drives a red truck. It has a dent on the side." "And you go to Ridgefield?" "Yeah, to Grandma's house." Marcus pulled out his phone and opened a map. Centerville to Ridgefield. Highway 87 the whole way. If the dad kept driving without realizing, he could be almost there by now. Marcus tried the number again. This time, someone picked up. "Hello." The voice was rough, impatient. Marcus kept his tone calm. "Hi, is this Liam's dad?" There was a pause. "Who's this?" "My name's Marcus. I'm at the rest stop on Highway 87. Your son is here." Silence. Then a confused grunt. "What are you talking about?" "Liam, your son. He's been sitting here for 3 hours. You left him." Another long pause. Then the voice turned defensive. "I didn't leave him. He's in the truck." Marcus felt a chill. "No, he's not. He's right here next to me." "Who the hell are you?" "I already told you. I'm someone who found your kid sitting alone at a rest stop in the dark." The man's voice rose. "This is some kind of scam. I don't know what you're trying to pull." Marcus interrupted, his tone hard now. "Turn around and look in the back seat." There was rustling, movement, then silence. A long, horrible silence. When the man spoke again, his voice was different, shaky. "Oh my God!" Marcus closed his eyes. "Yeah, I didn't. Where is he?" "Highway 87 rest stop, about 20 miles south of Ridgefield. I'm coming. I'm turning around right now." "You do that." Marcus hung up. He looked at Liam. The boy was watching him with big, worried eyes. "Is he coming back?" "Yeah, he's coming." Liam's shoulders sagged with relief. But Marcus wasn't relieved. He was angry. The dad's voice hadn't sounded cruel. Just careless. Distracted. But that didn't make it okay. Marcus stayed with Liam. They sat on the bench together in silence for a while. Then Liam spoke quietly. "Are you a bad guy?" Marcus looked at him, surprised. "Why would you think that?" "Because of your jacket. And your bike. Dad says bikers are dangerous." Marcus smiled sadly. "Some are, but not all of us. Just like some dads forget their kids. But most don't." Liam thought about that. "You didn't forget me." "No, I didn't." They sat together for another 20 minutes. Then headlights appeared. A red truck with a dent on the side pulled into the parking lot too fast. The brakes squealed. The door flew open. A man in his 30s jumped out, unshaven, panicked. "Liam." Liam stood up slowly. The man rushed over and dropped to his knees, grabbing the boy by the shoulders. "Oh my God!" "I'm so sorry." "I'm so sorry." Liam didn't hug him back. He just stood there. The man looked up at Marcus. "Thank you. I don't know how." Marcus cut him off. "How did this happen?" The man's face flushed. "I thought he was asleep in the back. I didn't check. I wasn't thinking." "For 3 hours." The man flinched. I know it's inexcusable." Marcus stood up, towering over him. "You're damn right it's inexcusable. Your son sat here in the dark for 3 hours thinking you abandoned him." The man's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't abandon him. I made a mistake." "A mistake that could have gotten him kidnapped. Or worse." The man had no answer. Marcus crouched down to Liam's level. "You okay, buddy?" Liam nodded. Marcus pulled a small notepad from his jacket and scribbled something down. He tore off the page and handed it to the boy. "That's my number. If you ever need help, if anything ever feels wrong, you call me." "Okay." Liam took the paper and nodded. Marcus stood and looked at the father. "You're lucky I found him before someone else did." The man nodded, shame written all over his face. "Thank you. Really, I don't know what to say." Marcus didn't respond. He just walked back to his bike. But as he reached for his helmet, he heard small footsteps behind him. Liam ran up and threw his arms around Marcus's waist. Marcus stood still for a moment. Then he gently patted the boy's back. "You're gonna be okay, Liam." The boy pulled away and wiped his eyes. "Thank you for not leaving me." Marcus's throat tightened. "Anytime, kid." He watched as Liam climbed into the truck. The father buckled him in carefully, checking twice. Then he got in the driver's seat and pulled away. Marcus stood there in the empty parking lot for a long time. He thought about getting back on the road, but something didn't sit right. He replayed the conversation in his head. The father's confusion, his panic, his shame. It all seemed real, but that phrase kept echoing. He's in the truck. How do you not know your kid is in the truck? Marcus pulled out his phone and called the number again. The father answered after 2 rings. Hello, it's Marcus. A pause. Is everything okay? I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. The man's voice went cautious. Okay, how often do you forget about Liam? Silence. I don't. Don't lie to me. The silence stretched longer. Then quietly, sometimes I zone out. When I'm stressed, I don't always pay attention like I should. Marcus felt his jaw tighten. Does his mom know? Another pause. His mom died 2 years ago. Marcus closed his eyes. That explained some of it, but not all of it. You need help, man. Real help. Because next time, I might not be there. The man's voice cracked. I know. I'll do better. I promise. Marcus hung up. He didn't believe in promises. He believed in action. But there was nothing more he could do tonight. He got on his bike and started the engine. The road stretched out ahead of him, dark and endless. But instead of heading north, he turned south, back toward Centerville. He told himself he was just making sure that he'd ride past the house, see that they made it home safe. Then he'd move on. But deep down he knew, some things you don't just walk away from. 2 hours later, Marcus sat outside a small house on the edge of Centerville. The red truck was parked in the driveway. The lights were on inside. He saw shadows moving past the windows. Everything looked normal, but Marcus stayed for another hour, just watching, just making sure. Finally, the lights went off. The house went dark. Marcus took a breath and started his bike. As he rode away, his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Thank you for not leaving me. Liam. Marcus smiled. He texted back. Anytime, kid. Stay safe. Then he put the phone away and opened the throttle. The highway stretched out before him. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew one thing for sure. He'd be ready the next time someone needed him. Because sometimes the people who save you aren't the ones you expect. Sometimes they're the ones everyone else is afraid of. Sometimes they're just someone who saw a kid sitting alone and refused to keep driving. If this story hit you, drop a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, would you have stopped or would you have kept going?